Hi everyone, thank you for listening to me. I'm Audrey and I will introduce myself quite a bit. I'm really happy to be here for Apidays 2023 in Paris. Just to introduce myself quite briefly, I'm Audrey, so I'm head of research center at Devoteam Revolve. This research center is questioning the impact of technology on people, work, and biosphere more largely, and it's called Gravity. So, I won't be talking about automating machines. I mean, it's the main topic of the API days, so I'm sure you're quite aware of it. I want to focus more on how to de-automate our minds, and how to develop a new impact, a positive one on, as I said, our work, people, and the biosphere. So first of all, as you may know, of course, automation is everywhere. We can live it as a coworker, as a client, or even as a citizen. But I want to question the promise of automation. It was supposed to make us more productive, then to have more time to focus on our creativity, to have spare time to read, to practice a sport or an instrument, a musical instrument. But in the end, I'm not sure, and I want to question this premise. First of all, it will impact, as I said, working conditions. I wanted to share with you two figures. The first one is by 2030, activities that account for up to 30% of hours currently worked across the US economy could be automated. And this trend will be accelerated by Gen AI. Moreover, an additional 12 million occupational transitions may be needed by 2030. 12 million people will need to change their jobs. Fun fact or not, women are 1.5 times more likely to need to move into new occupations than men. Moreover, according to the World Economic Forum, workers who start now, today, to work, they will have to change job at least 5 to 10 times during their professional life. It's quite huge. And as you may know, today, the lifespan of skills acquired is between 2 months and 2 years. For us in the technological industry, it's more around 6 to 11 months. But in the 80s, it was 30 years. So really, I think we need to learn and unlearn to fight this skills obsolescence. It's very important. And as we say, automation is a real social issue. It calls for rethinking the way our economies work. But I think we often forget to ask ourselves an important question, the question of the place of our own automation. What about it? How automated are we? Actually, we operate largely with automation, and it's fine. It's normal functioning of our brain, because an activity consumes a lot of energy, and our brain seeks to save it as much as possible by creating automatic routines. And this is really useful. But nowadays, I mean, our digital life has also generated new automatisms. For example, we mechanically check our emails or messages. We use Google Maps, TikTok, and as well, IoT has reinforced our own automation with alarm clock, connected watches, all the quantify self. And I think these automatisms once made our life easier, of course, but today it has tendencies to impoverish us. We lose knowledge, inspiration, and sometimes freedom because we are addicted to this new technology. So we endure them, and this harms our capacity for action. So we need to change the focus, to develop our creativity, to develop innovations. And as I said, we are in an era of automation with machines and technologies. So we can't and we should not enter into competition with machine, because we will be defeated. That's for sure. I just saw recently a conference with Yann Lequin, and he was saying, of course, artificial intelligence will be more intelligent than us. They will be more efficient. So we can't, and less expensive. We can't fight against that. But the question we can ask ourselves is more, what is it to be human in the society? What can we bring as added value in which area? So, as an approach to the de-automation, I want to focus on one born in the MIT in 2007. It's called the Theory U. So it has been developed by Otto Scharmer, as I said, in the MIT, because once he realized, he said, okay, we collectively create results that no one wants. He talked about war, climate change, all the crises we are going through. He said, okay, we developed collective intelligence, but we are not satisfied with the results. How come? How come we are like this? And he says these dysfunctions are largely explained by the fact that we work with automatisms and they were acquired in other contexts and they are no longer valid at all today. So, because the issues are completely different than the one we used to have. So this theory and this methodology invites us to listen all the facts. So even those that contradicts our own beliefs, it forces us to have an open mind. We will practice empathetic listening, which is called open heart, and for the finally so-called generative listening, which is the open will, and it will let our creativity and our ideas, and maybe we can say as well our intuitions, emerge. And this theory is very helpful for collective intelligence and to develop new solutions in a very complex world. So I will really encourage you to read the book from Otto Scharmer called Theory U. Also, there is a really good MOOC on the MIT website you can follow. But I mean, the best way to learn the theory route is to experiment it. So I really encourage you to do that. As well, so this is one of the methodology. At Devoteam Revolve, we are also developing our own framework. Our framework is called HIT. It comes from a quote from Esko Kilpi. Esko Kilpi is a Finnish researcher is very expert on expert on the future of work. And he said once, the new era of work demands people with HIT skills, meaning humanities, engineering, arts, and technology together. As you may know, the 20th century was the century of the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But the 21st century will need something more. You will need a framework to develop this kind of competencies. And this framework for us is HIT, and it's essential. So I will focus on what each led us. So the first one is humanities. As you may know, I mean, humanities are the academic disciplines that study aspects of human society and our culture. So it's such as psychology, philosophy, sociology, or history. And what we want to develop inside the humanities aspect is the way we need more diverse team to face new challenges. We need to develop singularity of each person to be able to develop real collective intelligence. We need to develop our engagement, for example, with NGOs, with research centers. We need to develop as well a multidisciplinarity. For example, we work with scientists, with researchers, with artists. So we need to develop the link between all the disciplines. And as Esko Kilpi said, our humanity needs to develop at the same time, at the same speed, as our technology. We need to focus on these areas, even if we're in the tech industry. So on this, I can also recommend you two books. The first one is The Culture Map from Erin Meyer. It's focused on how to develop collective intelligence between culture when you have a team with different culture. And the second one is Les Furtifs from Anna Damasio. Is also actually questioning the way we can see our humanity. Then after that, the E is for engineering. Engineering, I mean, to be an engineer is to take into all the constraints into account when you want to solve a problem. So I just put an image from Werner Vogel, the CTO of AWS, because it was a AWS reInvent last week, and himself talked about the frugal architect. So frugality is really essential in a world where with all the planetary constraints we have, all the limits we need not to cross. Then after that, I will encourage you to have a more Jugaad spirit. It's coming directly from India. It's a way how to make things simple, how to take complex tasks, but to give a simple solution to that. It's really how you can make it simple and do more with less. And the third one is robustness. It's coming from Olivier Hamon, who is a French researcher. He's written a book called The Third Road to the Living, and is just taking into account the fact that a system who wants to be viable and on the long term has to be robust. And robustness is very important in our way of working. Then the art, of course, art is very important for me and for us because it helps us to change the focus. Which is really important because it helps us also to invent and to create a new world we want. It helps us to be more creative, of course. And also, most of the time, it helps us to set up in motion, to move, to feed our brains differently than with in front of our computer. And it will also help us to leave our technococon. Technococon is a word I like because it's coming as well from a French novelist, Alain Damasio, who is writing about science fiction. And he was saying that, okay, we have to take our freedom and an active engagement. And for that, we need to leave this technococon we have. And also, I like this quote from Steve Jobs saying that it is in Apple's DNA that technology alone is not enough, as we say. It's technology married with liberal arts, married with the humanities, previously said as well, that yields us to the result that makes our art sing. And I think it's very important that we need to have this experience and to have something more than only technology. And so, the end, the last one, it's of course technology. I think technology is neither good nor bad itself. It's how we will use it the intention we put into it that make it good or bad. And I want to talk to you about one book I loved. It's called Tools for Conviviality. It's from Ivan Illich, and it's talking about the threshold of conviviality, which is the point when the tool from servant becomes despot, meaning that instead of freeing ourselves, our tools are enslaving us, he's saying. So it's really important to have a step back and saying, okay, this technology, it is helping me to develop myself, to develop, I don't know, my imagination, my work, or it's just like an addiction and I can't control myself from using it. As well, another point I like is what he called the radical monopoly of technology, which means that it's the moment when a technology that is more efficient than others make it impossible for others to exist. So it's what Vincent Bontemps, another French philosopher, put his book here as well, called zombie technology, because then you have like technology that are not used anymore, that have been replaced, but they're still here. And so that's why he's coming with the concept of right tech, and I like it quite a lot. It's different from low tech. It's saying, okay, the right technology is the good technology at the right pace, at the right moment. So we have to think about it, to have a step back and to say, okay, the technology I'm using or I'm developing, is it the good one? Is it the one the world needs to solve the challenges we are facing now? So that was I wanted to talk about it. Then I want to show you something which is quite interesting for the 21st century's engineers. This is the work from the INSA group and the Shift project. They joined forces for a project to educate engineers on energy and climate issues. And that's why they said what the engineers should develop as competencies for to face the global transformation of the world. So I can encourage you to see. They made like a little book on it. It's called Training the 21st Century Engineer. It's quite interesting because you can see you will need interdisciplinarity. We will need to have an historical and prospective approach, so to develop also new stories, to develop our imagination. And of course, you will have to be compatible with societal objectives and physical constraints, and you have to develop this engineer mindset. So I can encourage you as well to dig into it. Then it's something from SQKP as well. I wanted to show you on the it's how artists and, for example, engineers can be the same. For example, you can see that traditional mass production assembly line worker, they were working like on impulse order on a routine. But when you want to develop your creativity and your freedom, what you have is an artist. But in between, you have lots of possible jobs that can, at the same time, develop your creativity and your freedom. And I want to explore this area because I think it's very interesting to focus on the artist point of view for engineers. As you may know, Leonardo da Vinci was a wonderful artist and a wonderful engineer. He's not the only one. For example, you have lots of scientists that have developed literature competencies. Or for example, if you can see Thomas Pesquet, who is a very, very good musician, and he's also developed a good storytelling for making us like the earth and so on. So I think today we need to make these two worlds union and to develop a new status for tech professional. And what kind of status? I want to talk about the status of intermittent du spectacle. It's quite French one, but the status of work and income organization for artists. And it's something quite 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 specific in France because it's actually existed for a long time. It's based on an economy of more or less ephemeral but industrial projects. Actually, all this it's for entertainment, cinema, or culture and art. We know it's knowledge-specific industries, so the task cannot be repetitive. They are always new, and so they require constantly renewed know-how. So you need to have time to renew your know-how, to learn, to develop your creativity. So during this time, you don't need to produce, you just need to reflect and to think, but you are still paid. So what was Bernard Stiegler, who is just here, was asking for is that we need to have this kind of status for engineers as well, because the tasks are always new and require constantly renewed know-how. When you are engineers, you will need to perfect, you need to learn new things all the time. So you need time to do that. And you need this kind of status to develop more value and to be able also as well to develop new way of thinking and new solutions to this new problem we have. So that's what I wanted to say. I wanted really to encourage you to think out of the box and to also as well take everything. I mean, discuss with people who are not engineers or in the tech industries, with artists, collaborate with researchers, collaborate with philosophers or with writers. I mean, you need to develop your sphere of perspective, and I'm sure it will make us better engineers, and it will also help us to develop new solutions for new problems we are facing. And I'm quite optimistic that we will find a new way of living and having a positive impact. So I really hope you enjoyed this talk. I will share with you also all the resources I put in this presentation. And of course, I'm completely available. You can find me on LinkedIn to answer your question and to discuss this topic with you. So thank you to all, and hope to see you soon. Bye.